ね。
Okay, we're back with some more Higurashi. Last episode kind of suddenly. Sorry about that. But quick recap: we Watanagashi, the actual dance started, but instead of watching Rika this time, we got called out on by Shion to kind of spy on Takano and Tomotaki, who they thought were doing a secret rendezvous date kind of thing, but it turns out they were trying to break into a shed, and we basically went with Takano while Tomotaki stayed behind to keep watch, and we kind of got a nice history slash folk tale legend about Hinamizawa and the whole thing about how they used to coincide with demons living in the village and how they kind of interbreeded with them. And they talked about their old how the Watanagashi used to be about dismembering people and eating them since they're part demons. And obviously, like the part where they're like half demons and the whole anything really involved with demons is probably not true. If you're going on the more logical route, but I am completely inclined to believe the whole cannibalism aspect. Again, I'm not too versed with the Japanese language, but if the Watanagashi actually also has another meaning with what was it, intestine pulling festival, and and all these tools and the fact that they've looked like they've been used, it's completely believable that that it did happen in the past. Even Rita's dance, right? Apparently, like dismembering a pillow and how, or a futon, and how they're using that to resemble the bodies. I guess it kind of brings into the question of if this practice is still going on. And just from my, like, we're pretty limited into, we don't know. Basically, our knowledge is limited, and if they are still doing it, if I had to make a guess from what we know right now, I would say not. Just because, again, there's that comment at the beginning before they went in, how it showed that this place hasn't been used for a while. And even though they have use marks, they're probably pretty old. And I'm more into because you can definitely make the argument that now that, like, I'm like 90% sure that the past thing is right, again, except for the demon part. You can obviously make the argument that they're cannibalizing the missing people, but that just doesn't really fit well with the lore of that we previously knew. Like, I feel like the theory where they kill someone, then sacrifice someone to by sinking them in the swamp to quell the anger of Oyashiro-sama isn't more. It fits a lot nicer than they kill someone then eat someone, in my opinion, anyways. And it also wouldn't make sense of why would they kill someone and not. Why wouldn't they just eat both of the bodies and not just one? So I don't think cannibalism actually has a part to do with it. At least in the murders, at least in the 5 Watanagashi murders, maybe they are still cannibalizing people, but we just don't know about it, or it's not relevant to the murders and cases that we already have knowledge of, at least yet. But yeah, let's continue on our little history lesson. Hopefully we'll finish it up by this chapter has been really long though, right? Probably like at least 2.5 hours of reading time, or at least video time. I know I obviously don't often talk about stuff, but yeah, let's continue.
丁寧に優しくやるとね。
And we left off where they're talking about how the items in the room aren't meant to kill people, but to like torture them and harvest them to consume. And I think Takano's going on a little thing talking about how different cultures created different devices that prolonged the torture before death. of the victim.
意識がはっきりとした状態のまま
Very
腹
creepy.
渡を引きずり出すことって可
But,
能らしい
but the
の
fact that
よ
Takano is going on this makes me feel like she's less actually like a less sketchy person to the story, and seems more like she's just a fanatic that's really into this stuff. I felt a sick feeling in my stomach. It was like my organs were coiling up just from Takano-san's stare.
ウィンチで引っ張り出すっていうのはなんだか大行な方法だけどもっと野蛮に
The
裂い
mouse.
た腹から臓物をちぎっては投げちぎっては投げというそんな恐ろしい刑もあったんじゃないかって十分に考えられないでも処刑者には意識があるの
I guess it is like, especially in ancient times, I guess if you are punishing someone by death, you would want them to actually feel punishment, which is why they prolong the torture before death.
それは痛い以上に恐ろしい体験なんでしょうね
She spoke with pleasure, as if she had come here on a sightseeing trip. I heard Shion gulping multiple times near my ears.
ひなみ沢のいえ鬼ヶ淵村の渡長市もそんな感じだったのかしらねほら耳を澄ませば聞こえてくるような気が
Okay,
しない
she's obviously just messing with us. I wanted nothing more than to not hear anything at all. So why? Why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to? Bells. Takano-san, having realized she scared Shion and I enough at this point, smiled soothingly. Then she turned on her heel, raised the lantern, and began to walk away again. If Takano-san left us here, we'd get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano-san along on her field trip through the ritual storehouse. It's also pretty interesting how Shion said that she made the statement like she knew about it but not to this extent, which actually I don't know if that's actually that important. I'm guessing most of the at least older people in the village know about their past, and probably some people especially if you go for a more culty like theory, some people probably believe that they are half demon, which kind of at least in their mind gives them the justification to commit murders and stuff.
ね、面白いところでしょ?
She says, raising a lantern high in the center of the storehouse. Though we haven't seen anything, at least they haven't indicated anything used for the swamp to delay the sinking, unless it's, again, I don't know what this is, but it kind of looks like something that's a flotation device sort of thing on the right corner. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason it felt like I was able to see all of the horrible tools at once. Hi, Shion. Oh, don't. What? What's up? Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. Oh my god, what's up? I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. They all looked like they were made of iron bars, but then I figured it out. Cages. For cages, they were very small. Cramped cages, just for one, like a casket. If you got locked up in there, no, you wouldn't get locked up inside it. It was another tool meant for restraining people, where the iron bars would squeeze you tightly. So many big and large, things of all shapes were hanging down. Takano-san's mention of execution by drilling crossed my mind. We weren't just surrounded on all sides, but by these terrifying instruments. Things crowding the ceiling were even hanging over our heads.
ヨーロッパの拷問道具にこういった鳥かごがたくさん登場するわね。
I guess these were trying to be representative of what they see.
日本にもあったなんて驚きだわ。
ケイちゃん、あれ中に入ってない？
I can never tell with Shion how well she acted in the previous scenes to see if she's actually legitimately scared or not. But I mean, she is only human, right? Or maybe half human. but I guess it's reasonable.
人？
Doubt it.
ミイラ？
え？どれ？
What? Shion desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling, but I couldn't tell which one she meant. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place.
私には何も見えないけど、見間違いじゃないの
Would it be unreasonable to start to see stuff in the dark with this atmosphere? Shion didn't seem convinced, but without a means to confirm for ourselves, we couldn't do much but wonder.
これで前原君にもなんとなく信じられるようになったんじゃないかしら。ひなみ沢に伝えられる恐ろしい儀式の
I
数
can
々
believe in the
が
rituals. Again, the demon part, it can be iffy, but I'll just keep a 50-50 on that, like how I am with the existence of the curse. Since they kind of go hand in hand, I guess. It's got nothing to do with me with believing in them. Now that I've been shown the real things like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Yeah, it's definitely happened in the past. I think that's pretty much a fact. Unless these are all props, which would be which wouldn't really make sense unless it's like some big brain planning, but I think that's fine. Again, it doesn't mean that I don't actually think they're even using any of these in today. But, I mean, they could be. But since they don't show any signs of recent use, I don't really think they are. But I guess it's good to know. And again, the villagers are super traditional, so it wouldn't be completely surprising if at least some of the more fanatical villagers, or maybe even, like I said, if there is a fanatical group of them, would be using them. Anyways, even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts in the Dark Ages. It's well known that the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own era of hellscape like torturous feats because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, that was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events. And in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well.
中世の暗黒時代とかがそうだったように、ひなみ沢にも暗黒時代があった。そういうものなんだと解釈します。本当にひなみ沢でこういう恐ろしいことがあったのだとしても、それは大昔の出来事なんです。今暮らしているひなみ沢の人々とは何の関係もないことです。
前原君は本当にひなみ沢が好きなのね。
It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano-san gave me a light smile.
でも高野さんはその風習が実は現代にも残っているんじゃないかと思って研究をしてるんです。そうでしたよね。
Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. Are you telling me that these horrible things are still going on even today?
これ本当に内緒なんだからね。しおんちゃんは理解のある人だから話したけど、他の村人には聞かれたくないの。下手をしたら罰当たり者ってことで袋叩きにされかねないんだから。
think that's probably gonna happen anyways. Shion flashed a devilish smile as if reveling in the reveling in the immorality of it.
前原君も内緒にしてね。
See, she's not scared. It was probably more of an act than anything. How fast she can like switch gears.
知られたら私、お社様のたたりに会うか、生贄にされちゃうかするかもしれない。たたりなら、今年はどんな死に方をさせられちゃうのかしら。生贄なら、鬼ヶ淵の沼に生きたまま沈められちゃうのかしら。そういえば今夜よね。お社様のたたりがある夜は。
I think she's making the wrong. I mean, she wrote the scrapbook. I'm surprised she didn't like come to the same point as me. If you remember my opinion that the curse isn't happening, it's more of it kills. I don't even know why they're maybe the killing is part of the festival. Then the sacrifices to quell the anger, and the curse doesn't happen because they sacrifice someone, and that's why I think all the weird stuff happened in Onatakushi last volume, because either a rule was broken that the villagers didn't know or notice, or like the sacrifice escaped or something, or wasn't properly sacrificed, and the demons coming out were like the spooky Mion and Rena characters that acted like completely different from they normally acted. Is my guess anyways, because even Takano in her scrapbook said that the curse is kind of described as something grand, and I don't think one person dying is like really something like a grand curse, right? Takano-san said, bringing her face right up to ours, as if to say that if she had the choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. That was what she seemed to be implying. Takano-san took a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag, then began to flip through its pages. There were all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was about.
本当は国会図書館で当時の新聞を探したいんだけどね。ほら、ここ。
A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it too was written in small, tight letters. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by glancing at it.
これは実際にあったお話よ。明治の終わり頃にね、鬼ヶ淵村で身元不明の惨殺死体が発見されたんですって。
New cases to look at. An old newspaper clipping attached to the page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy tale.
当時の警察の資料がほとんど残ってないそうだから、口伝と記憶によるものだけなんだけどね。ほら、これ不鮮明だけど、明治の頃の新聞の切り抜きみたい。
Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was very hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. Near the end of the Meiji area, in old Onigafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even in the state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Skin had been peeled off the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, but the belly had been cut open by a sharp knife, with the entrails completely dragged out. So this sounds like a victim for the Watanagashi festival, actually. If this was the old one, you know, they'd torture them with the ritual tools, and then as a finale, they'd open it up with the ritual dance and the hoe and rip out the entrails. The police immediately began an investigation, but since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult.
どういう状況かわ わかるかしら。
Is she trying to drop the bomb that the death was around the Watanagashi festival? I don't actually know. I know that Japan uses like eras. I did air quotations on the past and history stuff, so I'm not sure when the Meiji era was in comparison to this current era, the current timeline in the game. If I had to guess, maybe like at most 100 years, because they're making this seem kind of like more of a recent thing, right? I couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I tried. This was the first time I was ever thankful for my lack of imagination.
被害者は生きながらにして全身の皮を剥がれ、あらゆる拷問を受けていじめ殺され、そして死後にもさらに遺体を分解解剖と残虐の限りを尽くしたのではないかって筆者は見ているわ。私はどの工程も生きているうちにやったんじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。
Oh, it can't be if he's been dismembered. I mean, I guess maybe. That'd be very hard to do, though, if he's still alive after all four limbs were dismembered.
前原君はどう思うかし
I'm
ら。
pretty sure you'd probably faint after being skinned, though. She spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far over capacity, however, there's no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Then when I broke my gaze from Takano's hands, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wonder if you could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji area with the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Even so, they were so strange, so terrifying, these tools. As if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, they did nothing but ridicule me silently.
その薄気味悪い事件が何だって言うんですか？
筆者はね、鬼ヶ淵村の恐ろしい習慣は明治以降の近代。ひょっとすると昭和初期くらいまでは残ってたんじゃないかって結んでるわ。
These actual dates. This corpse at a glance appeared to have been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, however, it was the pitiful, sacrificial remains of a man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. It was so fantastic, so strange that it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the... I'm gonna Google it. That's kind of bothering me. Hopefully it's not really a spoiler. Higurashi era? Period? I don't know what I'm supposed to type in. Okay. If anyone watching can shoot me some answers for that, then I guess I don't want to. Again, I hate Googling anything for Higurashi, and that didn't really do anything. So yeah, just shoot me it. I don't know. It happened in the Meiji area, which is too recent to be called a legend. See, yeah, I'm guessing like maybe 100 years, which is pretty recent, I guess. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right here suggesting it.
でも本当にあったとしたって昔のことですよね。明治なんて言ったらそれこそ100年くらい前の。
Damn, I'm good.
たったよ。たった100年前のことよ。それにね、昭和に入ってからだってあるんだから。終戦直後に騒ぎになった缶詰疑惑。あ、ごめんなさい。
New incident?
この話はタブーだったわよね。
What did they dub it? The uproar around the post-war canned flesh. Oh, like there's probably some people with canned flesh to eat. Takano-san immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry, but that expression soon disappeared.
今高野さんなんて言いました？缶詰疑惑って。
Just then there was a huge creaking noise. Everyone whipped around to look. It's your boy. Yeah, I just assumed. It was Tomotachi-san who opened the door slightly. We have guests. They're really trying to hit you with that they're still doing this stuff. I mean, we need to learn more about this post-war canned flesh incident, but if there is in recent years, relatively recent years, like at least like 50-ish years, where there's been found cans of flesh in someone's house, then I'll start believing that maybe they are cannibals. Or maybe there are active cannibals in the village. Can't really ignore all that evidence, even though it goes against my gut feeling.
僕は遠慮させてもらうよ。生来ね、こういうのは苦手なんだ。
Don't want to take some pits. Takno-san held her stomach and had to muffle her laughter, as if she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity. No
それより、演舞とセレモニーが終わって、みんな沢の方に降りていったよ。あと何分もしないうちにお祭りは終わっちゃう。
Let's get out of here without being spotted, though I'm fairly certain that someone probably spotted us anyways.
あら、いけない。前原くんがあまりにも聞き上手だから、またお話三昧になっちゃったわ。
I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this.
次郎さんは表で待っててくれるかしら。私はちょっと写真を撮るわね。
There you go.
本当はいくつか道具を持って帰りたいんだけど、それはさすがに無理そうだからね。
That's some documentation. Takno-san took out a camera out of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt.
ケイチ君も出るかい？
もう十分に見ましたので。
Yeah, let's just leave.
もういいだろう。出ようぜ。綺麗な空気が吸いたいよ。
同感です。出ましょう。
I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takano-san by herself in this darkness. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kinds of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. She's pretty sketchy, though I think she's just more of a fanatic, if anything. Even if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. We left Takano-san there, bathed in her strobe camera flashes, and decided to leave the ritual storehouse. Maybe this is where they get caught and killed? Don't know, because they must have got caught. So in Onekakushi, we met them during the stream where the part where they drift cotton down this stream, so that means they already investigated. So they probably got like ganked that going home. Anyways, hopefully some fun times. Hopefully no one noticed that we weren't watching Rika, even though we said we'd be cheering her on. So they don't feel too bad about it. I still kind of feel bad, but that was really a lot of information. But I actually don't think the information... No, that information was definitely important. I was gonna say it's not as important as what we received at the end of last chapter, but might be kind of equal. Though it's not really invoking a strong sense of theories in my hand as the same as last chapter. Anyways, good times. This is happy music. Let's have fun. Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of buds, on the other hand, were clear, lending an empty feeling of isolation to the place.
どうだい？面白かったかい？
Tomotachi-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. He should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were.
富武さんと一緒に留守番をしてればよかったです。
Tomotachi-san laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings.
しおんちゃんはどうだったかな。怖かったかい？
一応心の準備があった分怖くはなかったですけど、でもやっぱり実物は迫力あります。
She really had been quite afraid, but seeing how I was in way worse state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomotachi-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself.
高野さんはおとなしく見物してたかな。
Nope.
ほら、彼女子供っぽいところがあるだろう。
She was definitely teasing Keiichi a lot.
宝の山を前に
She's a
さぞや興
teaser,
奮してたんじゃ
kind of
ない
like
かと思
Eva.
ったよ。
Fits her well. Well, Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer.
見るだけならいいんだけどね。こっそりと何かを持ち出したり、いじくりすぎて細部を壊したりしないかが心配なんだよ。
Right, that's quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket.
やりかねないです。
Shion said what I was thinking.
本当に何も壊したりしなかったかな。なんだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたから
That
ね。
was just us.
僕は不安で不安で。
ごめんなさい。フィルムがなくなっちゃったわ。ジローさん、フィルムが余ってたら分けてくれないかしら。
Takano suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomotachi-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature.
もう予備のフィルムは切れちゃったよ。申し訳ないね。
もういついかなる時でもフィルムを残しておかないと決定的スクープ写真なんか撮れないわよ。仕方ないわね。
Tomotachi-san stretched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done here. Takano-san seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, then closed the door and turned to the heavy padlock we left beside it.
高野さん、何も持ち出してないだろうね。
失礼ね。そこまで子供じゃないつもりよ。
Kerklink. Tomotachi set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all.
よし、僕たちも沢に行こう。綿を流すところくらいやらないとお祭りに来た意味がないよ。
Tomotachi-san spoke brightly, urging us all on. Setting Kanan afloat down the stream. I shook my head a few times, striking away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Takano-san, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse.
もうこれっきりにしてくれよ。十分に知的好奇心は満たせただろう。
まさか。むしろ新しい興味を惹かれるような発見ばかりよ。今日のでこれまでの仮説が一気に現実になったわ。これで今後の調べ方がだいぶ変わってくるんだから。
Wow, she's truly indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else, still interested in all this through and through. Yes, we're at the stream. Oh, it looks so pretty. We descended the stone stairs and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over.
まずったな。綿流しの一番いいところを撮影し損ねたよ。
まだ遅くないわよ。私が行って流すんだから。私を取ってはくださらないのかしら。
Takano-san, with an impish expression, brought her head to Tomotachi's shoulder. Aw. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomotachi-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman. It really does seem like they're dating. I think honestly, my opinion on them too, I think Takano is just a fanatic who's like really into this stuff. And Tomotachi is still like incredibly sketchy just because we know that that's not his real name and he's just using an alias. But I actually do think Takano is more innocent than I originally thought. And Tomotachi's probably just, again, using her as cover. Plus, since she's so into it, maybe he can get some information from her. It's probably harder to find.
シオンちゃんも
Hopefully you don't
僕たち
die.
は今からでも沢に行って
See
み
you
るよ。
later.
君たちも一緒に来るかい？
Might as well.
まさか
Oh, never mind.
お二人の邪魔なんてできません。
True.
どうぞごゆっくり。
Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Tomotachi-san on his part seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps.
疲れちゃいました。
同感だな。俺も疲れた。
ケイちゃんは綿流し初めてなんですよね。私なんか気にしないで行ってきてください。私は疲れちゃったんで、人混みはちょっとパスしておきます。
I guess Shion, since we all went in there, I guess all of us are actually, if that's the reason why those two died, I guess we're also targets that could die, though obviously I don't think Keiichi's gonna die, but maybe it could be like Shion, and then use someone else for the disappearing corpse. That'd be interesting too, having Tomotachi and Takano live, see how they affect the story post-murder. Yeah, if we're gonna go now, we barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony.
お姉たちがケイちゃんのことを探してるかもしれませんから。
Probably.
行ってきてください。
あ、そうだ。
Don't die, Shion.
ミオンたちと別れた
For
ま
some
ま
reason,
そ
I
れ
have
っ
a
きりだっ
bad
たな。
feeling about you dying.
探してると悪い。
At the same time, it might be interesting if she lives. And if they're targeting Keiichi, maybe she could try to help. Even though I still don't count her out as an evil force. If anything, what if the first one is like Tomotachi and Takano go in, and since Shion was already spying on them without Keiichi, maybe, and then she could have informed them? I don't know. Then Shion suddenly got a playful look on her face, then put her index finger to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret. Oh, for sure.
お姉ってすっごく嫉妬深いんです。
Oh, that too. But you should just keep it a secret in general.
私がケイちゃんを独占してたことがバレるといろいろうるさいんで、今夜のことは秘密にしておいてくださいね。
I can honestly see Mion having a mental breakdown by the end of this and attacking Shion. Which isn't funny either. Like I still think we've kind of seen in the first one she's a little emotionally unstable. And still Shion's like repeatedly pulling on her strings. Either intentionally or it's like a secondary thing by hanging out with Keiichi, right? Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing.
そういう意味だけじゃないですよ。今夜私たちがしたことを思えば
Yeah.
秘密にするのは当然です。
Let's not tell anyone else about
今
this.
夜起こるかもしれないお社様のたたり。私たち4人が最有力候補なんですからね。
The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing.
じゃあ私はお姉に出くわす前に退散します。今日は本当に疲れてるからお姉とやり合えるだけの体力はないですし。
シオンってミオンと仲がいいのか悪いのか よくわからないな。
仲いいですよ。
Yeah, I don't know either. It feels like they kind of get along. They're just like really like playful with each other, kind of like a dickish playful way. But I feel like it might be affecting Mion more than Shion's anticipating. If anything, if Shion is nicer than I think she is, and she's just like pulling people's strings, it might. I think she might be this like she might not be expecting it to be affecting Mion as it is, as much as it is. If anything. Though as she said that, her vague expression explained that there are a lot of oddities in a relationship between
俺は
twins.
一人っ子だからよくわかんないな。せいぜい仲良くしろよ。
はい、余計なおせっかいと承ります。それじゃあ私はこの辺で。ケイちゃんも急いで行った方がいいですよ。本当に綿流しが終わっちゃいます。
Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me.
でも本当にあの音は何だったんでしょうね。
What sound?
不愉快というか気味が悪いというか。
何の音だって？
音ですよ。ドタンバタンってうるさかったじゃないですか。
I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared harder at her
ご
too.
めん、シオン。はしょらないで最初から説明してくれないか。
When did that happen?
何がうるさかったって？
ケイちゃん、気にならなかったんですか？
The only like weird sound we kind of heard is the ringing of the bells when talking. I was like, oh, if you listen carefully enough, you can hear it. When all was said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages.
シオン、冗談抜きで初めから説明してくれないか。音がどうしたって？
ケイちゃんこそ冗談抜きで本当に気にならなかったんですか？
Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at each other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions, with no sense of a natural conversation in sight. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her and ask politely one more time.
もう一度聞くからな。質問は俺からだ。
Shion nodded slightly.
じゃあ聞くぞ。音がしたって何のことだ？
ドタンバタンってなんだかどこか遠くの板の間で子供が跳ねてるような。本当に気にならなかったんで
Maybe
すか？
that's what Tomotachi heard.
気にならないも何も。そんな音いつ聞こえた？ 俺は何も聞いてないぞ。
ちょっとケイちゃん、それ本気で言ってるんですか？
Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further, her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about, but if it has Shion acting like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps and sent a chill down my spine.
さっき最後殿の中で高野さんと一緒に見て回ってる最
Well,
中、
obviously.
高野さんが昔話を始めた頃からかな。
I don't remember.
少しずつだんだんと
I think I would remember that.
ちょくちょくと
She heard a banging sound, like a child jumping on distant floorboards.
嘘だろ？最後の最後で怖がらせるのはなしだぜ、おい。
I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening.
ケイちゃんこそ怖がらせないでください。なんだか高野さんの怖い話に合わせて音を立ててるようで、私ずっと薄気味悪かったんですから。
The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over.
ケイちゃんも高野さんも全然意にも介さない風だったので、私も聞こえないふりをずっとしてましたけど、聞こえましたよね。何度かはすごく大きな音でしたから。
Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes suggested something entirely different. You've got to be kidding, look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. Well, we don't know what Takano sound. It'd be nice if she was here to confirm a side of the story. But that's Tomotachi kind of low-key confirms it when he says he heard something about jumping. Should that make Shion who heard it tremble, or should it make me who didn't hear it tremble? I didn't know the answer to it at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made the decision before I did.
なんだよ突然。
引っかかりましたね、ケイちゃん。嘘ですよ。嘘。
I don't believe that.
はあ
Shion laughed, seeing how easily I was scared, and clapped me on the back. Even though I don't believe it, again, she is a really good actor, so... But like I said, I think with Tomotachi's thing, I think it actually kind of soft confirms it happened. I don't know why Teichi wouldn't be able to hear it, though. Her smile seemed somehow artificial and actually made me feel worse. Then after leaving me without 2 or 3 generic diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Tomotachi-san said the same thing, didn't he?
なんだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたから
Yeah,
ね。
that's what soft confirms it.
僕は不安で不安で。
Tomotachi-san, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. Then that noise, it was real? The banging sounds? Sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards far away? Or Yashiro-san was cursed, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano-san, Tomotachi-san, Shion, and me. The bustling of people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human worth, and yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted in my head. Then all of a sudden I was pounced on behind, causing my heart to lurch.
ケイチ、見つけたなのです。
It was Rita-chan. When I turned around, Mian and Rena were there too.
やっと見つけた。あとはさとこか。
No, where's the
私はみん
Popo?
なはぐれちゃったね。来年からはちゃんと交流場所を決めておきたいな。
So they couldn't find Satoko that whole time also too? Nice. We don't have to spill the beans and we skip the performance then.
そうだね。やっぱりお祭りはみんなと一緒でないとね。
I listened to Mian's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
ケイチは僕の演舞をちゃ
Ah,
んと応
that
援
makes
して
me
くれま
feel
したですか？
bad. He rooted for you in the beginning.
ああちゃんと見てたぜ。最後までちゃんと頑張ったな。
Dude, they can read your mind. They're gonna
ミ
know.
スもなかったし。
うんそうだよリカちゃん。あんなのはミスのうちに入らないよ。
What? Oh yeah, didn't she like stumble on a Takeshi? That's a little bit. I tensed up as I realized I made a mistake of my own. Mian slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body.
ケイちゃんはやった？綿をもらって沢に流した？
Nope. You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage of telling me any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head.
あれ？そうなのケイチくん。早く行かないと終わっちゃうよ。 わっちゃ
ごめん。初めてのお祭りだからさ。よくルールがわからなくて。
うよ。そうだったね。ごめん。
Juliet's cheesed. You can feel it in her voice. She knows we were doing something else. She probably has a feeling it was Shion too, because it's always Shion. Mion took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps. Aww.
ねえケイちゃん、
なんだよ。
シオンには会わなかった？
Dude, she's gonna snap one day. I feel it. There's so many. It's like low-key foreshadowing. Look at that face. My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand.
いや、でも、姿を見たような。
I mean, I don't want to tell Mion about the shed, but we can probably say that Shion was dragging us around. That would kind of direct the anger to Shion, I think.
でも、ミオンとそっくりだからな。ミオンだったのかもしれないし。
そんなに間違えないでしょ。服装だって違うんだから。
And your hair.
そうだよな。
Bro, Keiichi, I feel bad for you right now. This is supposed to be happy times still. Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me.
しょうがないな、シオンは。
Dude, she's... I don't know, man. I feel like she actually, like, really... Well, I feel like Shion also dislikes Mion, too. Like, she's like... She kind of, like, whenever, like... the question of relationship with her sister comes up, she kind of deflects it by just saying, yeah, we're friends. But I really feel... Especially if people start going into spooky mode, I wouldn't be surprised. Though I guess spooky mode is more coordinated, right? So maybe it wouldn't attach Shion. Also, I kind of feel bad for Keiichi because he's definitely going to be targeted again this chapter. After going in
まあ、
there.
あいつのことだから、放っておいても大丈夫かな。
Yeah. Mianda's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand. Yeah, the thing is, Keiichi's not good at reading people, honestly. He's probably pissed. Stop. Oh, chapter break. It's already been 52 minutes? Damn. I was thinking of doing like a week of Higurashi after last week's 2 mess-ups to make up for it. I think that's a good punishment. More scrapbooks. That should actually be really good. No, maybe in the scrapbooks we'll have, oh, there's a hoe. Is that what a hoe looks like? I guess it is. I thought it was more, it's like a flatter scythe-esque kind of tool. Hoe. Oh, that's a hoe. Oh no, there's a scythe kind of version of a hoe too. A sharper one. There's a lot of different kinds. I don't know, I'm not a farmer. Or a gardener. Scrapbook should be good. Maybe we'll get the canned flesh in the scrapbook. And it looks like we did a little thing for the police ties again. The 3 scrapbooks were really helpful, so this might be even more helpful. Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now, but reading back to its origin turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony. Sanguine? Originally, Watanagashi would happen at fixed intervals, and after receiving Oyasho Sama's trust, they'd choose a sacrifice. Then the entire village would kidnap the person and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. Yeah, that's gonna be a big thing, discovering the rules of the village, because that plays into my theory too. I think the way they're saying intervals might not actually be intervals, but be like if the rules are broken, that's what kind of spawns the next event anyways. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. See, that means it's not a set interval, right? I mean, it's probably because of a broken rule, though they kind of changed it to a yearly thing now. There is a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune telling, but it isn't too convincing. I mean, I don't believe that yet, but it could be a weird motive. Possibly. The residents of ancient Onidafuchi village firmly believed that there were half-man, half-demon transcendents, and they were more valuable than humans were. And they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of the villagers of the isolated Onidafuchi village, in case of any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. I can see that. I can also see how they would think themselves above others. It kind of goes with them, like, kind of treating outsiders coldly, because they think they're above them. It would add a bit to that if they did believe they were kind of transcended by being more than humans. Okay. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were. I don't know if they were. How about the idea that the ceremonies, which is the murder, is just based on a diversion, or diversion tactic. Though what's also interestingly enough, that the description of the old Watanagashi festival doesn't really go with the murders, because it appears there's only one victim, and that victim would be found extremely tortured. Well, that doesn't really fit with any of the any of the cases of the Watanagashi murders we know so far. I mean, maybe the closest would be the first one because there's dissection in them, but even then it's kind of a stretch. Yeah, I'm feeling like I totally can believe that that's what used to happen, but I don't think it actually has much to do with what's happening now. If anything, it just shows the tradition and maybe the mindset of the villagers. But yeah, it's interesting how it had erratic intervals and the deaths were different. Well, in this Watanagashi, now they're having it at yearly intervals, which is an interesting thing of why that's happening. The alleged importance of implements, so we're not gonna get the canned flesh thing. Too bad. I really want that to start believing in cannibalism. But without that, I'm not going to. It's like in the back of my mind, if anything. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and they were definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. The obvious question, then, is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of the Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old, please tell us who, I think obviously one Sonozaki, but who else is there, would develop one new implement, dissection tool after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of the Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. Okay, I'm gonna cut the video just for a sec. I need to go to the washroom, which is really bad since we're almost done, but yeah, I can't really hold it. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. On the hint, I kind of agree with her hypothesis that we don't actually know the exact number of tools, but it did look like there was a lot. And if they were just used for the simple purpose of fulfilling the goal of dissecting and eating, they probably wouldn't be as much. So there's probably an entertainment value. Or, of course, they could just be part of the ritual value as well. Maybe every single person in Hinamisawa has to have a tool of some sort. We don't know. Scrapbooks haven't been as helpful as the last ones, but they're interesting at least. Anyways, we should see what's happening at the police station afterwards. Late that night, tension in the police station was restrained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him.
Oi-san! こっちは検視入りました。じい様もさっき到着です。俺もスタンバイ OK しました。このまま焼死の現場へ直行します。
熊ちゃん、ちょっと話がややこしくなりました。向こうは身元の判別が非常に困難な状態だそうです。
まさか4年前のあれっすか？
いいえ、こんがりといい感じだそうで。
So this is... I thought they were waiting in tension for a crime to happen, but it looks like someone's been burnt to death. Not burnt to death, but a body's been burnt. He spoke in a sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words were heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh. Kind of burnt light brown, kind of like how Takano was talking about how those grilled to death, burnt to death murders in the storehouse. Completely blackened. You said nice brown, so it's kind of different. Cooked with no possessions, then discarded outside the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. At least it's interesting that that the cause of death is different in this volume instead of the self-suicide ripping throat thing. The fact that they sniffed it out tonight was huge.
今、小宮山君たちが沖宮の歯科医を根こそぎ野襲してます。カルテで歯型照合するしかないでしょう。ごめん。誰かきつめのタバコ2個ぐらい買ってきてくれません？
The young guy answered in affirmation and darted out into the hallway.
今年は見事見つけましたね。ひょっとすると過去の失踪者もこんな感じで県外で殺されてたんすかね。
なら埋めればいいじゃないですか。重りつけて日本海でも琵琶湖でもいいですね。
Is this not? Maybe this is them finding maybe this isn't the murder and this is them finding one of the past missing people.
でもどうして一人死んで一人消えるのがこれまでのパターンじゃないですか。
クマちゃん、 仏は拘束なしでドラム缶の中でこんがれでしょう。見つかることを覚悟の上でです。
じゃあつまり今年は消す気は初めからなかったってことっすか？
消す気がないってよりは、これはそれとは全く別のものでしょうね。消すどころか主張しているようにすら感じられますよ。
Well, if it's Shion, if this is an unrelated incident to the Watanagashi murders and it's Shion, I think we can safely say who that was.
つまり見せしめの意味があるってことっすか？
He folded his arms and then heaved a long and heavy sigh.
それをしないでやってくれりゃその線もあるんですがね。こんな遠くまで運んで焼いちゃったら下手したら分かんないでしょう。見せしめにするならひなみ沢の近くでやるべきなんですよ。殺したことを主張したいのに、場所は演出効果の確実じゃない遠方。今年は何考えてるのかな、お社様は。
Oh, is this the real one? A telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the receiver.
おいさん、小宮山さんです。出ました。沖宮のデンタルクリニックで3年前に親知らずの治療をしてます。
Okay, so this. Oh. Wait, who is it?
カルテは
レントゲン付きでバッチリと。
You're not gonna say it, are you?
いやー、こんな明け方前に歯医者さんには申し訳ないな。
We're not gonna
クマち
know.
ゃん、小宮山君からカルテを受け取ったらすぐに出発してください。
了解っす。あ、課長です。夜分お疲れ様です。大石さん、遅くなって申し訳ない。状況は
やっと面白くなってきたってどこですかね。
We're all getting fired
燃え
up.
てきたぞー。わー
I don't know what's happening. I'm a little confused about what happened, but it looks like something's going on. I don't know who died or if it's something new, but of course they wouldn't tell us. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure we're gonna have some sort of relations with Uishi, unless Takano or Tomotachi survive, then they might fill the role Uishi was filling last time. That might be interesting too. Anyways, good episode. Got more historical stuff, got some more spooky stuff. I really feel like Mion's gonna do something to Shion. I don't know why. It's a really heavy gut feeling, bro. I really feel that Mion hates Shion, like non-playfully hates her. I think Shion might dislike Mion, but probably not the way Mion dislikes her. I don't know though. I could be wrong about that. There's just so much weird tension whenever I see them together, and especially that last scene walking down the staircase. Not good. Anyways, I don't know what to expect. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see the results, who died and stuff. It looks like it might be a different pattern than last time, which might be interesting. But who knows? Maybe, you know what'd be funny? What if they were planning on killing Tomotachi and Takano, but since Keiichi and Shion were with them, apparently they took they were in the storage place longer than before, right? Because last time Takano and Tomotachi made it to the river thing and left like before then, so they were out of there a long time ago. Maybe Keiichi and Shion's like intervention kind of ruined the timing, which would be interesting. But I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will be back soon. If I actually get the time to record everything, I will try to make this just a week of Higurashi as a sort of apology for last week's two horrible incidents of misrecording. But we'll see. I think we should be able to get it done. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.